Okay. I just saw the Diddy verdict. They were saying that he was found only guilty of sex trafficking, I think of the for prostitution, and that has a minimum sentence, I think, from between 0 to 10 years. I don't know if he's going to be let out of jail soon or whatever. And he was found not guilty of the other charges, of the other four charges. Now, and they're saying that he can be getting out soon, like maybe today or this week or something. Now, I'm not going back on what I had said. I said this 6 years ago, that there's going to be a great downfall within the, you guys call it Illuminati or Black Illuminati or whatever, or Boule or whatever, but the current leaders of it. I told y'all that there was going to be a great breaking away, that it was going to fall, and that a lot of them were going to be in trouble. And I stated that 6 years ago. I watched it happen, and I'm watching it happen. And you know, a lot of people were calling me crazy, that this is not going to happen. You know, 6 years ago they told me I was crazy, it's not going to happen. And I thought a lot of it seemed crazy to me too, because I was receiving information saying that these things were going to happen. Since then, for some reason, all of my information that I used to get has disappeared. I can't find any context anywhere. So I'm relying on my old information, but I do believe, like I said, and I've been saying for the past 6 years, that these things are going to happen, and that these guys are going to fall. These current leaders of the, I guess you would call it Boule or whatever, these things are going to happen. And I had stated while this was going on with P. Diddy, and I said that it was going to happen with Jay-Z and all of these things, you know, because information travels. Whenever you go through conspiracy world, you get information about a lot of different things, because people talk. A lot of these people, they talk, you know, they're guilty, so they, you know, they run their mouth all over the place, and everyone can hear stuff, you know. um I haven't been able to get any information since I've been talking about it for some reason. So I mean, that's gone. But I do believe what they were saying, because, you know, and that's their business. They're going to be going through all that. But I'm sticking by what I said, because I don't think this is, like I said, I think that with Diddy, as it concerns, the way it looks to me, and no one has told me this, but the way it looks to me, it looks the same thing as with Epstein. He had all this information, but he was the only person that was brought out that had any, that was brought out as being guilty of doing anything. We still haven't had the client list. We still haven't had any information of all the help that he's had, because he's had way more help than what the two people that they're showing us. So it's been more. And so we don't have that. We don't have no information, and it's the same thing with Diddy. And now you saw what happened to Epstein. He's gone. Now either he's really gone, or he could have turned into some sort of informant and they pretended he was gone, or he could have pretended he was gone, or, you know, it could be he could be in hiding with the feds. Who knows? You know, I don't know, you don't know, nobody knows. And so I believe that's the same thing that's going to happen with Diddy. All these child sex rings that are being broken up, all these scams that are being broken up, and people are being found out everywhere, all over the place. And like I said, Diddy probably did tell, but the people that he told on were way too powerful to even be considered to be put in jail. So he had to try to put it off on people that were lower than those people. And even if he did do that, like I said, I don't think Diddy's gonna make it through this. I don't think he's gonna make it through it at all. Just like with either he turns to the feds or he's not gonna make it through this. And I don't think Donald Trump wants to help him. And that's just how I see that. I don't think I don't think Jay-Z would make it through this. I mean, right now, you know, when I say these things, I get told that I'm crazy. No one's listening to me. But then all of a sudden, the people that I'm talking about listen to me. And they try to beat back what I say. You know, try to stop what I said. I told y'all before that it was in May that Diddy would be arrested. I think he was arrested in May. I told y'all before about Beyonce and Jay-Z. By a certain time, they will be put into this whole thing. I think they really like Jay-Z, but he's just gonna be put through it because it's just they have to do what they gotta do. Whatever they're doing, I guess they're trying to fix things in their organizations. I don't know. But they're going to have to do what they're going to have to do. And just like how I said, I don't think that Diddy is going to make it. I don't think, what's his name? I don't think Jay-Z is going to make it. They're too powerful. They have too much influence. And I don't think Beyonce will either. Because of the fact that they have way too much influence. And like I said, this happened about 6-7 years when Beyonce did that Super Bowl thing. I had heard through the rumor mill that people didn't like the fact that she had so much influence. And they had to figure a way to break that down. And that's where this all began, that she had way too much influence. That she had too much influence. And doing them breaking it down. And then with Trump, I guess Trump was I don't know, I guess he's their enemy or something. And when they saw that, they had to make do with what they had. They had to make scapegoats to protect whoever they had to protect that they felt was much more important. And that's where it is. It's like these guys, they messed up. I don't know. They messed up a lot of things, and they caused a lot of things to happen, and now they're trying to fix everything. And like I said, they listened to me more than anything. I didn't know that these people were listening to me that much. But that's why I get shadow banned so much. That's why I get harassed so much. And like I said, when I said that when you think of what Diddy got found not guilty of, he got found not guilty of charges that would have to cause other people to come into the courtroom, that they would have to go and investigate other people for what the stuff that he did. If you notice, if he's being found not guilty of the racketeering, and he's being found not guilty of the sex charges against Cassie and all those things, they would have to call other people in to testify, and also they would have to investigate those other people. They would have to find out lists of other people. Those are the things that he was found not guilty of. Now do y'all smell a rat? Now do y'all smell it? Now do y'all see that? Anything that could cause anyone to be investigated, that's what he was found not guilty of. So that nobody could be called to court. So that nobody could be investigated. Because nobody could be found out. So nobody could be on a list. That's what he was found not guilty of. Now for the sex trafficking of prostitutes, that's something that he did. And that's something that only that he will be able to, nobody has to investigate him because it'll only be him. You see? And they weren't going to get him on RICO charges because they can't get him on RICO charges because the people that helped him are way too powerful to go to jail. Or anyone that helped them. And that's what we got to deal with. But I think they should have done something, put something together to where that majority of people that were backing him could have gone to jail, you know, but they weren't going to let those people go to jail. And the only person that would be found guilty of anything will be him. He'll be the face, the guilty face, like he did it all by himself. And also too with him going through the court thing, he'll be the one that everyone will think, you know, or the face of being guilty. People are going to be thinking that, well, since he's guilty, you know, and he's the only one that, you know, the case is solved, they don't have to look no further. You know, they're going to close everything up and push everything away. And then while we're doing that and everything quiets down, Diddy might be erased off this earth and nobody will know why. And that would happen in case the same thing with Epstein. Epstein went to jail, and all of a sudden, boom, he's gone. Because they don't want to ever take a chance on him or anybody else all of a sudden getting smart enough to say, hey, wait a minute, we ain't getting no information on anyone else. Does he know anything about anything else? And you know he do. And that's what's making it so bad. And now you see them going after, who was it? I think it's Fat Joe or somebody. They're going after all these ones. And then they're uncovering all of these child pedophile rings. They are. It's a lot. There's a lot of pedophile rings. They found Medicare is being scammed. All these, this is a system. This is part of the beast system. The beast system, BEAST. The beast system. This is where they were getting all their money. Scamming taxpayers. Scamming everyone out of Medicare or Medicaid. They even have something where they're scamming Section 8 money. They're out of the government. And everyone's blaming people who are on these programs instead of the people that are scamming these programs. Billions of dollars go into these other people's hands, and these other peoples are from every country. So these investigations and stuff, these are things that are going to be going, that should be going worldwide, because these are other countries helping these groups of people. And everyone is blaming other Americans for the stuff that other people are doing. You know, they got I don't know, all these different people that they're calling the New World Order people and all these other people. They're all doing this off of American taxpayers. And American taxpayers are blaming all the poor people, or the disadvantaged people, or the maligned community, or, you know, just all these different communities, but not putting the blame where it belongs. And that's why I like Donald Trump. He's been bringing this all out. It's like he's been having people investigated and having things done. Even though, hey, he probably is getting his hands dirty somewhere too. But it takes one to know one. So I guess that's what we're going through now in this country. We're finding out everything that we need to find out. But, you know, we need to get it together in that sense and understand that these people, we have to find a way to get rid of these people. As Americans, not black or white, just Americans. Now, I do say black Americans need to get it together. We got 3 years left. Shoot, we really don't got no years left. We're supposed to have been had this done. We're supposed to have been had other leaders that can vote, that we can vote for. We don't have anyone. In New York, they already have people going up to get voted for that I think are even undocumented or close to undocumented. I'm not sure. But these people are, you know, everyone has their leaders already up. And every time I say something, like when I used to say before a long time ago, you know, black people need to take it to church and y'all need to do y'all little things at churches, have your meetings, and do all of those things. You know, everyone called me crazy and said, don't listen to her. Guess who listened to me? The migrants did. They went to and got together and they started having their little churches and their little organizations and doing stuff the way that I was suggesting people do. And that's how they got themselves organized and done. Now, I know not to really say much anymore. I only say some things because other people are listening and coming out and doing everything I say and then looking at me as if I'm crazy. Like I never said it. And of course, because our people have a thing to where we look down on first of all, we look down on anybody that's black. Our community, the black community, real quick. And the darker you are, the worse it is. And I've dealt with that my whole life, right? And then if you have any ideas or creativity, you're not attractive enough to come out and say these things and be recognized as the person that said it. Especially if you're not college educated or anything like that. If you're a single mother trying to raise your children and you come up with some sort of wisdom but you're not considered the type of person everyone would like, they'll sit there and look at you like you're crazy. But we'll take it from you. They'll take your idea and say someone else said it and look you in the face like you're stupid. Or they'll say, oh, I've always thought that. And walk away and claim exactly everything you said. But they never had the heart to come out and say it because they was afraid of everyone's reaction. So I've had that happen to me all my life. Just like I said, I've always been held back because I'm outspoken. I've always been treated that way because I get up and I defend myself. And I'm the type of person that everyone would think that I shouldn't be like that. I'm supposed to be the stereotypical black woman that's single and has kids. I'm supposed to be a stereotype, and I don't fit the stereotype. And that gets a lot of people angry, and so they do all these types of stuff. But like how I said, like with when I was talking before about how black people needed to get a plan together to talk to Trump a few years ago, and Ice Cube got up and he did it, in a way I'm kind of glad he did it because he's a man and he's a leader, and he did have this, the same type of ideas, but he had a plan. He had it all together. I just wished, that if you hear something from another person, especially the fact that we're all black and we're all, you could have just did a shout out. It wouldn't have cost you nothing. When I went on his, I think his thing was called Clubhouse or something, some little app he had, someone did something to my site and they took it. They messed it up really bad. I don't know why. They stopped it or they blocked it or whatever they did. So I couldn't go on the site. I left it alone. I stopped messing with it. They took my pictures and everything. I don't know why that happened. I tried to talk to them at the site manager, but it just wouldn't work. So I'm just saying that to say that these are the type of things that I deal with because of my outspokenness. People don't like hearing anything from me, but they love what I say. And just like how I had said 6 years ago, this is the downfall of it. Everyone else that it is meant to be spoken to, it's like, she needs to shut up. But everyone else uses it, and then all of a sudden it becomes a big thing. And everyone else has been saying, all of a sudden, that's what I've been saying. Blah, 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 blah. And if you have been, too, because sometimes people think alike. I'm not stupid enough to think that people don't think alike. Sometimes people think alike, and they might say something, or they might be saying the same thing as you without knowing anything about you. That's okay. But yet and still, if you hear someone saying it, just come in agreement with it. That's all. That's how you find things out. Because just like how Ice Cube had that plan, if he would have asked me, I would have told him something, and Trump would have listened to him. He didn't do that. Trump didn't listen to him because Trump heard me talking about this. And you see, sometimes people don't figure out in their brain fast enough to realize why people are treating you that way. Trump is old school. He done showed us constantly. I don't think Trump is our savior. He just showing us stuff that we don't want to see. Since he's been in office, he's an older white man with blonde hair, billionaire white man with blonde hair. And I'm not trying to make it about color, but I'm just telling you. He sat there and showed you this is what a man is supposed to do. He's supposed to lead his house. He's supposed to take care of his family. He's supposed to take care of his community. What is he doing? He's taking care of his community, his legacy, his everything. When what's his face was in there, he didn't do any of that. Or maybe he did, because maybe that was his community. Maybe that was his legacy. I don't know. It wasn't ours. Because he could have done what Donald Trump is doing. And our community never catches it. Everyone swore up and down that Donald Trump had to like us. He don't gotta like us. He gotta work with us. It's business. Nobody in our community can figure that out. And again, I was being called crazy and everything else. I'm not saying also all of this to exclude the other groups of people, because you have other groups of people that are in need too, but right now they're not looking for to help the black community, because the black community can't even function enough to get up and work together. When those migrants came here, on day one, they knew how to get up and help each other. Their gangs came here, and that's not a good way either, but their gangs came here and started getting people in line and to create a system, a culture around them that's going to help them to protect each other and to help them grow. Our community can't even give each other a like on a post that they do like. You hear me talking and you will still listen and agree to everything I say and click it off and go about your business. Won't even give me a like. And to make matters worse, they make sure people can't like anything that I say. So y'all should be wanting to put a like on that because it's something you guys need to hear. You will be darned if you did that to an Hispanic person. They ain't feeling that, or a Latino person. They not feeling that. They don't care what the person done said. The person could be out the door loony bin, and they're breaking their neck to hit the like button for them, making sure that person gets heard or whatever. And so, that's how our community is, and it's horrible. It is really horrible, and it's even worse in your own community. My community sucks badly. I mean, where I live at now, this is a nice neighborhood. The people are quiet. Nobody really bothers nobody. But in most areas, when you move to a community where it's predominantly African American, a lot of African American people, or the black people here, they cater to Hispanic people. They don't talk to their own people. We don't help each other here at all. It's very hard for that. And never mind the men, I mean, you could be going through a catastrophic breakdown. A black man will walk away from a black woman, real quick. And another man will help a Hispanic man or anything like that. A black man won't know what to do. Well, where I live at, that's how it is. Not everywhere, because I know, like in certain places, certain cities, there is a strong connection with other black communities, but my community is slow on that. So, but anyway, I just wanted to say that with the thing with Sean Diddy too, and also with the Me Too movement. I haven't heard anything from them. That man was evil enough. I used to think Sean Diddy was a good man, but to see him beat on that girl the way that he did, and I'm also a victim of a DV, and I saw how this man dragged her, pulled her back, and come to find out, pulled her back to a place where someone can continually keep assaulting her. What type of a person does that? Why would you beat on a woman, another person, not just a woman, or another person with feelings? You wouldn't do that to an animal unless you're so uncaring and unfeeling within you to even acknowledge her being hurt, and that you're hurting her for no reason but to satisfy yourself. That's beyond sick. That's unfeeling. That means that he would go out, walk out. He would do anything to anyone and wouldn't care. Wouldn't know when to stop himself. Nothing. That's animal behavior. That's wrong. You don't do that. You don't beat someone like that. You don't do something like that, and then to assault them. How can you do something like that? Like she has no feelings, like she doesn't have a right to have feelings and all of that. That's why I don't get around a lot of rich people, because there are some in that culture, because that's a culture for them, that's a subculture for them. And there's a lot of them that think that way. They think that they can do anything to anyone, and it don't matter who it is, why it is, or what it is. They can do anything they want with unfeeling and uncaring. Not just even rich people. It's just people. There are people that are like that in their mind. But it's worse when it's a rich person, because a lot of times they can get away with it. And you see, in a sense, he's getting away with it. But he's only getting away with it because other people don't want to get in trouble. You know? And that's the only reason why he's getting away with it. And whenever you go into those homes, it's like if you go into a rich person's home, they can do anything to you in there. Anyone can do anything to you in their home. So, and no one would know what's going on, or you can't prove anything, right? So, to have a person in their mind think that this is okay, that they can get away with hurting someone else and doing all these evil things to someone. Why would we want that person to even walk around? That means that he'll walk up to a little child and probably do God knows what to that child and have no feelings or whatsoever. That's what they're letting this man that's walking out of jail do. He has no mental capacity or feeling for anyone else other than himself. And it's really sick and distorted. He needs help. His family needs help. And for him to mock God like that, that man don't like God. He mocks God. And these people, I just don't understand it. But I think the the prosecuting, they prosecuted that on purpose. They had to. It was a jig. It was a gig. It was something. They did that on purpose. So they were allowing this man to walk out of jail because they don't want him to tell or whatever. They don't want him to be investigated no more. And like I said, I don't think the man is going to make it because they're putting it as where he cannot be investigated anymore. Either he'll go back to jail, and when he come out of jail, they'll do God knows what to him, and we won't ever hear from him again. And we won't have a way to look into his life. Him or Jay-Z, because Jay-Z is connected to him. Even with Fat Joe and all of them, you know. And like how I said, they're going to make the Black Illuminati group, or what you call Illuminati. They're going to make them the scapegoat of it all. Whatever they're doing, whatever they're messing with, you know. They're going to say that it's all their fault. And in a lot of ways it is, because they messed up. They did things wrong. You know, having all that stuff happen the way it did, they messed up. And so when these people come to whoever's their real head honchos, whoever's really controlling the strings, they're going to have to let them go. I mean, you could keep sitting there putting it off because you hear me saying that this is their downfall. And I've been saying it for 6 years. You know, you want it to be said by someone else. Maybe you want it to be said by Lady Lily Flower, or some other person that looks more pleasing to be able to predict stuff. I don't know. Like I said, I'm too dark skinned to be able to come out and say the truth, I guess. I'm too dark skinned to come out and be, knowing stuff. But like I said, he's not. I'm quite sure he's not. They're not, because they messed up anyway. So it's just going to be a benefit for them to do what they got to do. It's a war between all of them, and it's something that they got to handle. There's nothing anyone can do about it, because the more they put it off, the worse things get. And that's what they're doing. Every time I come out and I say something, they put it off, and the more you put it off, the worse it gets. And that's on them. That's their business. I really don't care. But like how I was saying, I think, like with the Me Too movement and all these fake things, they're fake outrage. None of them got outraged seeing that woman get beat like that, and then to now know that she was being forced to go back into a room where she's saying no. And the jury was actually saying, after knowing, well, they didn't know, because the prosecution threw that evidence out. You see how that worked? They threw all that evidence out. And the very thing they threw out was the thing that could get them, that could get him a RICO. You saw how that worked? So they were making sure, because if they did a RICO, him and whoever else was around him had to be investigated. They were going to make sure that no one could investigate whoever was around them. And they got away with it. That sucks. But if they did that, then I know for a fact Diddy's not going to make it, because he's the only thing that will be around that they would have to, just like with Epstein.